Hey guys, it's Brew with Coffee Run Repeat, and I've got my co-host. This is my son, and he's 8 weeks tomorrow. So hopefully we don't have too much snoring while we're doing this. I'm here to review for you the Sonic RA Max 2. The RA Max I will link to below. I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking about this one except to compare the RA Max to the RA Max 2. Some things right off the bat. You should know that the blue is actually the men's 7 and this is the women's 8.5. Sizing wise, the European sizing on this one is 40 and 2/3 and this is 40, so there's a slight difference. They're not exactly the same size, but Salomon tends to run longer, so I didn't really notice that difference so much. I had gotten the men's sizing because two reasons. I was pregnant at the time and I didn't want it to be too narrow in the forefoot, and it was blue. I'm a sucker for blue. Some differences, you can see the heel decoupling is still there, but they've extended the tread down. So if you're a midfoot striker, you're going to have a little bit more of a tread here as opposed to right here. I was starting to run out in that midfoot section. It's both a 10mm drop. They have updated the heel. So on this one, I took it for a 20-mile run out the gate and had the worst blister of my life because they had this heel cup that just had a little speed bump on the side and on the back, and that didn't do enough to secure my heel. They have fixed that. The heel collar is now nice and plush. The upper has changed. This was a lightweight upper. They have added, this is more of a fabric upper with some little bit of, not stability, but they have added a little bit of reinforcement on the sides. If you have a wide foot at bunions, you might find that this is a hot spot. I have double bunions, but I did not find that I hit this point. That's just something to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is this seems to be lower volume. I typically have a wider foot to the side, but I don't have a high volume foot. I found that this was hitting the top of my foot. I was doing it for shorter runs to start off with after having the baby, and I found that even with like a mile, I start to feel it. So I did let out the laces a little bit, and I tried to run with thicker socks just to kind of stretch it out, and it seemed to fix the problem. Other than that, the ride is good. It's a nice plush ride. If you're used to running in a higher drop, it'll definitely keep you happy. It is a little bit of a heavier shoe. I don't know how to compare it to a Hoka yet because I have getting those, but it is a little bit heavier than the Topos I've been running in. However, I have been looking for a little bit more stability and cushioning post having a baby, just because things change. My knees are still kind of getting used to it. I've got the relaxin in my system, and my gait changed because my hips got wider. So these are all things that are factoring into how my shoes are wearing now as opposed to before the baby came. So back to the Salomon, they still have the sense of fit, a lot of the same things that they had. They had the Vibe cushion, so it's a good riding shoe. It feels weight-wise, this one feels slightly lighter, but you know that could be because of the materials of the upper a little bit differently, and also this one does have more cushioning, which I will take a heavier shoe to not have this little speed bump in the back. This was such a great shoe, but it just mangled the back of my heel. And I tried so many things to try to get it to not do it. I taped my heels. I did a lot of different things, and it just did not work. The tongue system is the same. It's got the same running avenue insole. So there's a lot of similarities, but I find that this one, for all its lower profile, it actually felt a lot better on my foot, and it fit my foot a little bit better. You have a wider toe box. This is going to be just the right fit for you. Some of the other things that I did like about it is, for me, I actually like a little bit more rubber on the bottom. I'm really rough on my shoes, and I find that when there's a lot more foam, I tend to eat through the bottoms before I can even, flatten the midsoles. So this would be good, I would say, if you're trying to run gravel trails, or if you're trying to run kind of trails that are, I run a lot of like paved trails around locally, and that go into areas that have like horse trails. So I'll be doing two different kinds of trails. If I'm going to be on actual trail, I will be in my other running shoes, my trail shoes, which will either be the Carson footwear. I've got a couple pairs of Ultras that are still working rotations. I've got some Salomons that I also work with too, because I have a shoe problem. But I think that these are pretty good second, what do they call it? This is the first tier, second tier. This is the newer iteration. I got some mom brain going on right here. This is a good one. I actually like this one a little bit better than the Max. give it a go. And let me know if there's anything else you want me to review. I've got some exoskins coming up for you, the brand new exoskin shorts, and I've got a whole bunch of other stuff in the pipeline. So hit me up below. I will link to the Sonic RA Max review in case you missed that one, and have a great one.